Okay, welcome. This is going to be my video for the day. I'm not doing any cards, okay? I just wanted to get straight to the point with the topic of conversation. Last night I did a reading. It should be posted on the page, in which I did state in the middle of the reading about the idea of Christ consciousness and why it is we give respect for those who actually died for us to live. One second. As I was saying about those who have come before us, your ancestors actually did pass in order for you to live. You may not understand what that means yet, but understand that everything operates in a balance. Okay? Everything operates in a balance. All right? Now, yes, you do have lower level ancestors, those who came and instead of devoting their life to life, they devoted their life to vice. Okay? Um, Everyone is aware of this in your bloodline. Okay, but you have those who actually stood up and did what they had to do, and they will reap the benefits more than just the material gain here in this world. You will get the material gain because you're here in the physical aspect of things, but in the spirit, there's levels to this. Okay, and you have to know your level. Okay, leg by megbe. I'm going to say it every time. Okay. Um, so with that being said, the ancestors that you know that decided to squander life, whether it be through addiction or they haven't really put in the work in order to help cultivate your growth, right? To fertilize the ground in which you were growing on. Okay. They are also in, what do you call it, purgatory. But they're in a realm in which they can entice you depending on which frequency you are currently vibrating at any given space and time. Okay, this is why some ancestors could only meet you when you're in a partying mode, and they try to keep you there as long as possible. And next thing you know, your whole reality is shifting, and then you're going to join them in that purgatory if you're not careful. If you don't gain the eyes to see and listen to the higher level ancestors as well as spirit guides, right? Because there's levels to this, like I was saying. Ancestors can ascend to the point of spirit guides when they don't get reincarnated back here. Okay, they can reincarnate through your vessel. All right, sometimes you make deals with certain higher level entities in order for them to be incarnated here in your physical being. Okay, that all just derives from your personal level of consciousness and which level you are currently vibrating at and which ones can actually incip your heart. Do you understand? Now, along the journey of life, aye, right? Along your journey, you're going to realize that there's often some splits, right? When you're in your adolescence, when you're a toddler, right? You're going to notice psychological changes as you grow. Now I am a middle-aged woman, right? I remember saying this the other day. I was like, I'm not a young woman, but I'm not an old woman, even though I do have an old spirit sometimes. Especially when I put on my glasses. I put my glasses on like an old lady. But it's like this weird identity where I still have my childlike spirit, but I'm still, I have more sense than I did when I was younger, right? This is perfect for when you're growing, right? And not to mention, I think I did lose some of my sense on my journey here to gain back my sense. I think that's your 20s. Your 20s, you lose some of your senses because you're like, you're in it, right? But you did know all the stuff you knew when you were younger. You had sense when you were young. You just kind of, you're under some veil of illusion to see what your soul was really about. All right. Either way, middle aged, right? And so you understand that there's already generations that exist that come after you. All right. These are the seedlings. Now, if you choose to be a selfish person, all right, you get caught up in what I call the pan spirit. Okay, the pan spirit. And I'm going to explain that in a few. But I just want to make sure I double back on this point. Even if you do not have children, you're still a steward of those children as they are growing. Okay, this is where you have mentorship. Now, if God has decided, on whatever level nature you were, that you decide to bring Pickney here, right? Babies here. Children, right, through your vessel, right? Those children are now belong to the world, right? So you train them and you try to get them ready for what they're about to face, not for you and your comfort. Now, if you are a parent and you decide to abandon that responsibility of taking care of your children, which does not just come from financial security, that stuff comes if you're actually doing right by your children. Okay? So I know a lot of people say they feel the pressure, and so like, I'm not having a job. You need to focus all of your attention on growing up and maturing, because those are the people, these are little souls that are now watching your every move and learning. Okay, and your presence is more important than anything else. Okay, this is why it's really wise as a woman. There's already an amount of finite eggs in the world. That's dependent on how many women there are. Okay, so that is the value right there. If you don't got the egg, you really don't got nothing. All right, so make sure that you're learning and ascending your lessons so you could create some high vibrational children. Okay, it's all linked. It's all linked together. Okay, and don't give up your eggs so easily, because it's just going to be an uphill battle. Especially if the partner that you choose to fertilize your soil is not one of divine counterpart, or not operating in divine consciousness yet. Okay, this is why it's not advised to have children too young. Okay, it just makes it a little bit harder. You haven't ripened yet. You haven't gained your knowledge yet. You haven't gained all your sights yet. Okay, but again, we're going to move forward. Fortunately, for those who do have their kids young, hopefully there's a village that's covering down, and there's purpose and design plan for the child with respect of their own consciousness and soul journey, please. Okay, because each body has a station. Okay, your ancestors have a station, the higher level spirits have a station, higher level consciousness have a station, and then there's the God, the consciousness of the all. Okay, now everyone answers to that consciousness. Okay, this is why you can't really get caught up on worshiping ancestors. We give thanks and we give homage to them, and we are very grateful for their existence. However, they are not the end all be all. Okay, you need to really search within your heart and follow the God within, because you are now going to be part of their station and hopefully a higher station for your bloodline. Okay, this way anyone who comes after can be able to call upon that higher level consciousness when your body goes down. Your consciousness still rises. Okay, all right. So when we talk about our higher selves, we're talking about our spirits that is living above our heads, guiding and protecting and giving us the keyway, like, go this way, go that way. Don't go there. Leave now. Okay, that's what we're talking about when we say that. Higher self, higher levels of consciousness. Okay, your ancestors capped out wherever they capped out. Hopefully they reach God level consciousness in whatever realm that they're on, or whatever realm they're experiencing. And if they double back and actually help you through your journey, right, you ascend the bloodline higher, right? So this way, when others in your bloodline call upon you or call upon higher level consciousness, you're able to give that insight when you're operating in spirit. Okay, right now we are slaves to our body because we have to wake up, we have to eat, we have to consume things. Okay, where we direct that energy shows the level of consciousness that you're at. All right, let me take a pause real quick. Okay, so just because you don't have any pick-me, just because you did not give birth to a child, does not mean you don't have a responsibility to the children of the earth. This is coming back to what the main point of this whole thing is going to be about. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, you do have a responsibility even if you did not bear children. Okay, it's just that the parents have more responsibility because they are there during the incubation stage. They're there through the entire process of that child's life, from conception to actual birth, and hopefully after that. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the pan spirit. Now, if you are a person who had children young, if you had children when you're in a state of consciousness that was not conducive to higher vibration, meaning you were drunk, meaning that you were lustful, meaning that the contents of your heart has not matured, you didn't have the eyes to see yet, whatever the case may be. Okay. What starts happening is that you can fall into what I call the pan spirit, the pan level consciousness, the Peter Pan level of consciousness. This is where you're going to find the lost boys and the men who are searching for mothers. Okay, and the men who, like Tinkerbell, right, try to give way to competitive energy between the feminine energy, the even though they're both powerful in their own right. Okay, and they try to breed what we call jealous spirits. Okay, it's unfortunate, but there's nothing new under the sun. This is why your elders try to advise you not to do certain things, and if you don't listen, that's on you. Okay, it's on you. No matter what I'm saying to you right now, understand this is your journey. Okay, I am just here giving you some lessons that I've learned. All right, you accept it, you don't accept it, is up to you. All right, gain the eyes to see. And if you're listening to this, I'm hoping that, and you're young, and you're a younger person, I'm hoping that you can see ahead. Okay, because we are really just one people, especially our melanated people. All right. Now, just because you're melanated does not mean you're righteous in your heart. Okay. So please do not just think just because you are black or because of this or that, you're in the clique. Now, spirit speaks louder than any vessel, and you have to also see what part of your melanin you have activated. All right, because wickedness doesn't know any color. That's why it's important to work on your heart. Okay, to free your spirit. What else? Pan spirit. This is where you have your inner child does not want to mature. It doesn't want to grow up. And so on a subconscious level, it sabotages, it acts out, it tries to turn back time. I don't know. It's not maturing. It's not learning lessons. It decides to do temper tantrums. That's a big sign. Okay. You haven't conquered your lower level nature. All right. And so you start looking like children, but not in the good way, in the joyful way and wondrous way, in the way that you never got discipline in your life. Okay, seeking outside validation consistently. And then when you do get it, you usually get it from young people who also are looking for a leader, and your rebellion seems like something righteous when it's really not. You just don't want to mature as a person or as a spirit. It's a sad story to look and witness. Okay. But hopefully you're hearing this and you decide, I will humble myself and listen. Okay. So I can get out of this so that my bloodline doesn't suffer. Okay. That's how it really goes. Pan spirit is very, very, very tricky. Right, because it's youthful, it looks like fun, and again, fun is nothing wrong with having fun, but you really try to sit with yourself and see, why is something fun to you? Okay, why is it that you want this? Kilo Feshe, right? See that song right there, right? There's a couple things in the lyrics. You must listen to the songs you're listening to. Pay attention to the lyrics. And I know it's hard because sometimes I'll be listening to songs, I'm like, damn, I want to dance to this. It don't matter what language it is in, right? Because vibration, we know beat. This is why sometimes you know this thing about, you put a good beat on it and you say whatever words, the people are going to really like the beat. So if they're not really conscious or present in their body, i.e. if you're drinking, i.e. if you're getting, if you're casting your spirit out with drugs, right? It's easy to incept your heart because the music becomes the first layer, right, to get to your heart vessel, and then the lyrics kind of just cast a spell on yourself. Okay, that's why sometimes I hear songs and I try to change the words because the beat is killing it. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, dang, this kid, I want to dance to this, but I don't want to put a spell on myself. You know, it'd be like that. There's that one song. It's like, darling, I don't wish you well. You ain't with me, right? I had to change the song up because now I don't even remember the original words. But I'd be like, darling, I really wish you well. If you ain't with me, I want you thriving. I just like the beat. The song was dope. Okay. So as artists, as creators, be mindful of what space you're in as you're creating. Okay. And remember, when you're putting out music, when you're putting out these things, you bear the responsibility to help the ones coming up before you, because they're the ones that are listening and they're the ones that's supporting you. Now, yes, is there a place for anger, sorrow? And yes, is there truth in these emotions? Absolutely. Absolutely. But after the creation, you bear the responsibility to redirect. So after this has been manifested in creation, okay, you still must lead them. All right. If you're taking on the role of mentor, teach them the right thing. Right. To quote Fela Kuti, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. Do not teach me nonsense. Make sure you're teaching them the joys of life so that they don't get stuck in the sorrow. Okay. There's sorrow, yes, and it's okay to express that. But there must be a moment of elevation. There must be a moment of shifting realities. There must be a moment of a paradigm shift after that catharsis has released itself from your body. There's nothing wrong with embodying these lower level emotions, especially if you've experienced something that resonates with that vibration. Now, to my elders, I will also say that the act of rebellion is still very, very much required in this existence. You can see it when you look at the fallen angels. Why? Because it teaches responsibility. It teaches adaptability. It teaches for you to now grow your own strong roots. Okay? Um, you must. You must. Okay? But make sure you are rooted. Make sure you are rooted. And our roots go stronger than time. They are strong. We have strong roots. So make sure you are ascending in either direction, whether it be in the shadows. But not in shadows doesn't necessarily mean evil. Okay? It just means that you're in the darkness. And there's levels there too. Okay? So we grow beneath and we grow above. One plug about the Lost Boys, okay, is that we have the younger masculines will be looking toward you as a leader, and that is empowering. Okay? So you as a man, what are you teaching them? Are you leading them toward death or are you leading them toward life? This is why Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, where he was talking about there's a certain level that you can't cap. Right? Now he got a little wayward as well. Okay, because he was trying to expose the quality of the feminine on a lower level dimension. And he created a feeding ground of others to feed off of this lower level energy, right? Which didn't really transcend. And I think that's even why he had to transcend and got wiped out. That's what I mean, my personal opinion, and spirit speak. Okay, but do not drop blood in the water if you're not able to cleanse it. You're going to attract all kinds of entities that's going to come. They're going to have a frenzy. So you're responsible to what you're feeding them. You are responsible to what you're feeding them and to what capacity. Yes, they exist. Yes, lower frequencies exist. And depending what paradigm you're on is what you're going to experience more. And that depends on your heart space. This is why you cannot move through this world without having this light or without making your amends, without being in a time of peace. Healing is important for that reason. The more you keep going back and trying to relive situations of the past that hurt you, you start poisoning your brain, you start poisoning your vessel, your heart keeps beating on the coldness of that situation. Forgive. Make sure you're doing what you have to do. No one can stop you. Okay? If you're thinking to yourself, well, the government is this and she's keeping me away from my children, or other way around. He doesn't love me, so I'm going to keep him away from his children. This is immature, stupid shit. And to the men, You are a man. And if you're righteous, the right women will see you. Okay? It is very important for you to have the presence in your children's life. Do not give way to Pan's spirit and just be like, okay, you follow God, you don't follow man. Or even lower level frequencies. If it's your will that you be in your child's life, it will happen. David and Goliath. You understand? Don't just toss it up. Your presence is important. Okay? Talking about what you're not doing, or you made this bed, right? It's not, yes, the women, we understand, but you guys both were vibrating on a frequency of consent. Okay? So that's my advice to that. Don't give way to a Pan spirit, and don't just get so idolized, because if you're not taking care of your own kids, you're going to start looking for other kids who may be lost. But have you matured? Because children serve as a major point to help you mature. Once you have kids, watching them, taking care of them, you have no choice but to mature in spirit, physical. As long as you actually have love for them and have that frequency of love for them, they have no choice but to mature. This is why when you go back in time and if you go back and you start meeting, let's say you grow up and you meet your father figure or someone who ever abandoned you, even if it's your mother, right? Any one of your parents that decided to abandon you during your important stages of growth, they are capped somewhere. You can see the immaturity if you've surpassed them. Okay? That's why sometimes it's actually a gift that they're not in your life. Hear me out, right? Because they have chosen another thing to serve. Okay, they didn't stay to help toil. They didn't stay to help, fertilize the garden of your growth, even though they planted the seed. There's nothing in this earth that's worth more than life. Nothing. Not gold, none of it. Okay? Because you're all going to be meeting in spirit. Okay? And the contents of your heart here is going to be what propels you higher in spirit. Okay? So clean up your heart and keep your heart clean. All right, now I did touch a little bit about the music, right? And as you can see, your favorite artist, when you look at your artist, right, this is a tale as old as time. Okay, if the artist or the creator, because remember, it's not just flesh and blood that is created here in this realm, right? There's many things that are created, okay? There's many births, whether it be a song, album, the artist. Notice your favorite artist. When they don't have a divine counterpart, meaning that the women are not co-signing their behavior, there means that they have chosen an entity outside of life. All right? Yes, I am talking to your city girls and your city boys. Lifestyle nonsense. I was born in a city, okay? One of the biggest cities as far as density and compactment, okay? I'm not saying city life, but does it give forth life? Ah, not so much. All right. Me not chasing no dollar. The dollar comes to me. Money comes to me. Because I am life. Women, take care of your eggs. It's very important. Okay? Please relax yourself. Okay? Just now we go. But yes, it's these little things, right, that require your presence in order for both of you guys to grow and learn in understanding. Okay? Love your children, love your creations. All right? Now, what you start noticing with some of these artists, though, I want you to peep game. All right? As they're ascending, right, they're getting more power, getting more energy, more eyes are visualizing on them, right? They will talk about God, they will praise God as they're on their way up. They always have at least one song that they're praising, like, yes, all my people spiritual, right? You're singing all this song, and then all of a sudden something happens. Their consciousness gets caught in some net, okay? And then you can physically see it as long as you have the eyes to see, right? And it usually happens when they are leading the picnic into destruction. Okay, that they start embodying the pan spirit, all right? And usually if their heart is broken, it's not gonna be your whole time. Nah, it's not about that. Ibon, guard your heart, guard your love. This way you don't give way to nonsense, all right? So if you're an older gentleman and you didn't really find love, you only know how to have women on different continents. You don't actually know what it is to cultivate the land in which you are so. You don't know what this is yet. You're now gaining a monopoly on women, a monopoly on land. You're trying to gain this. You're trying to become a pharaoh, a pharaoh. You're trying to become a king. This is your goal in your life. Women, please pay attention. Matter of fact, the only way you will be really, as a woman, attracted to this, you're going to be giving up something very important, which is your femininity, which is attached to life, spiritual life, and spiritual life and physical life here. Okay, if you're too in resonance with this idea of power, money, and nonsense, you start degrading your value. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so if your intention is to become a pharaoh, you give up one of the biggest loves that they are here on earth is divine creation between masculine and feminine, between man and woman. Okay, my melanated being, we are one people. It don't matter what land you're on, it doesn't matter what dialect you're on. Your spirit speaks louder than anything else. Okay, and that's through your heart space. So make sure you're taking the time to heal. Stop jumping in and out of relationships. Take time to heal and don't get addicted to the power of money or the power of energy transfer. Because much is given, much can be taken. You must really pay attention. I pay attention to all the people who I've listened to their level of consciousness. That's another thing. When you don't give reverence to God. Okay, when you don't give reverence to God, right? What starts happening is you start taking the weight of the shoulder of your decisions instead of being in alignment with divine consciousness, one that's leading toward life. Okay, and you could start seeing this. I hope to God this is on. It is not on. Oh, it is. Um, you can start seeing this when it comes to watching your artists as they're aging, because time. All right, they start growing their locks. They want to be conscious. Consciousness has become a fad. Okay, they want to wear it as something they could take off. Nah. God is always present. Be present. Okay. Now, if you are with a woman and she bears children for you, that is your woman. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you won't have your ups and downs in your relationship, but keep that unity divinely sanctioned. Now, if one goes the other way, the other one goes the other way, make sure it's not because of any deception on your part, because now you're taking the role of the consciousness of the devil, temptation. Temptation has incept your heart, and you decide to abandon the farmland in order to gain material gain, the city. You want to be a city boy. Why? Hmm? But like I said, contents of your heart. So you're on your way. All right. If you fall, you shall rise. Tio bashi bu oma dide. All right. So it's okay. However, teach the ones coming up behind you. Don't let them follow you into the path of nonsense. If you see somebody who has your spirit, who has your marking, God has said, talk, mentor this child, so he does not make the mistakes that you have made. That is the true mark of an ancestor. All right. And it's not do as I say, not as I do. That was an old thing that was not right. Because if you can change your life around, especially if you're of a middle age. You're not dead yet. There's a point when you're old where you're like, I've settled too many cycles in this. And so I am not going to change now. I would meet my fate when I meet my fate. And that's fine. But our age here, if you're around my age and you're looking back, teach them the right thing. Mentor correctly. right? I understand that you have some mentors that are teaching you nonsense, and then you led to do nonsense. Learn. Forgiveness is there. Peacetime is there. Okay. Um, Women too, right? Some of you been led by other women who unfortunately did not learn how to heal their heart spaces. Okay. And they decided to crash out at every given opportunity. Okay, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation because someone said something really funny, but I'm not going to translate that. Okay, there's a consciousness that was funny just now. Anyway, yes. Okay. Even with that being said, look behind you. Hey, ma'am, don't do it. Don't do this. And all you could do is just give the warning. All you can do is just give the voice of reason. Okay, that's it. At the end of the day, the soul is going to do what they're going to do. Just make sure that your consciousness is clear. I would say that. Unfortunately, I have also been in charge of certain babies that I actually still love. I have affection for, and I want to see them rise and I want to see them grow healthy. Okay, and I've given them bad advice. I had to double back and be like, I didn't mean to say that. That is the hard part about being a parent because that's on consistently. It don't matter what you're doing, your child could come in here and just drop a whole philosophical bomb on you, and you're like, dang, I don't know how to answer that, right? And so this is why it's best to be present, listen to what their perspective is, okay? And if you don't have the answer right away, walk away, come back, because they really, raising children is very, and we're all children of God, by the way, because I'm sure I do this to elders too. I'd be like, what about this? And they're like, oh, they don't want to deal with it right now sometimes, right? But it's best to have patience for the right answer to come than to say the wrong thing. Okay, then I just have to double back. Like, listen, I know the other day I said this, but I didn't mean that. Okay, I had to, I said the first thing that came to my mind, trying to be honest and to be truthful, because kids know when you're lying. Okay, we all do. The children of God know when you're lying. So you best just come straight, come correct. And if you don't know, be humble enough to say, give me some time, let me sit with God about it. To give you the right answer to help you move along your journey. Okay? Um, this is why it's important to keep God as your center. Even when you get your fame, your this and that, whatever. Because your success is just basing on the wills of your heart. Right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be wealthy, but what does that wealth actually look like? What does your heaven look like? And be honest. And be honest, is God in it? Is life in that dream of your heaven? Okay? I remember God is amongst the people, the consciousness amongst the people. All right. So I think I covered all the things I wanted to say. Make sure your union between your woman and yourself, that is God right there. Okay, keep that sacred, sacred as possible. All right. As soon as you start having to look outside and borrow sacred energy from other people and all this other nonsense, you're breaking the union. Okay. Um, yeah, because the heart is key. All right. And no woman can give herself freely and openly to you with love when there is a threat in the fence. I don't care what her logical mind is saying. Okay. I don't care what the laws of man are saying. The heart never lies. Okay. And as long as it hurts her heart, it's going to be a problem. Okay. As you know, during pregnancy, that's a very, very important time for a woman because she's shaping the emotional attachment. That child that's being conceived in her belly can pick up everything, every subtle nuance. Okay. So make sure if you are breeding, I don't even like using that because it makes it such an not a personal thing. If you're choosing to co-create life here on earth, make sure you actually love the woman that you're doing with. Make sure you love that man that you're doing that with. Okay. And if it's a one-sided love, that means you did not have the love for yourself to actually have the patience to see who this person is. Patience is key. Cycles are key. Because what is for you knows no bound of time. It's very patient and it waits for divine understanding and for divine growth in order to align. In order to align. Women, be women. Be women. Mother Earth is very patient. That's the only reason why we're still here standing on her. They will learn. They will learn. All right. Let me take a pause. Okay. Yeah, so look at your artists. Are they emulating after some time? Right? And they cast their spells of their music, because I get it. We're all moving up a ladder. We're all moving up in ascension, right? And understanding. And so you may not know. Maybe they catch you where you're like, I want to have fun. Let's dance. And then you're not paying attention to what is actually being said. Do as you want. Do as you want. Yes. Do what you want. But what is the quality of what you want? Hmm? What is the quality of what you want? Is it a lustful spirit? Is it a drunkard spirit? Is it having everything in excess? What good does that do you? Abundance is having exactly what you need when you need it, no matter what that range look like, no matter the magnitude. It's not about having excess for it to waste. Why? You know, we're trying to be wasteful. Why? Why? Ego. And if you have excess, then you could give to others. Then it don't go to waste. You see what I'm saying? All right. Okay, it's not fun if you don't want to be lonely at the top like Ashake. Lonely, lonely. Find the love that's yours. Okay, that's the next thing. All you is get all your ass and then want to diet, kill the roots. No offense, I know there's a fad. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, notice a trend with the men. They'll get the ras and then they will cut it off. Why? Because it's an honor to have your hair locked. You're locked in. This is your roots, your antenna. Okay? And depending on where you are navigating, your antennas will pick up all kind of nonsense. So keep your locks clean. Keep your heart clean. Keep your locks clean. Okay? Keep them healthy. Keep your roots healthy. Don't get eaten from within. Keep your vessel healthy. This is not just a fad. It's not just something we put on. Okay? It's something that we actively cultivate. We have hands of growing hands. Okay? Make sure the hands that are placed on your locks are healthy hands, loving hands. But you have to be able to receive that love. And then we're able to receive that love as if your heart is light. Your heart has to be light. Your heart has to be ready to receive love. You have to be able to receive it. Okay, last thing. I'm running low on time. Last thing is about this idea of the blue and the red. You start picturing that symbolism there, right? This is the stage most people have to go through. Blue representing the serenity, I guess the illusion of things, being content with the illusion of things. Red representing the truth. And so they kind of always bash in the middle, right? That's just part of the growth. You're going to see this as you are ascending if you're listening to me. Okay? Try to get into the purple. All right? I keep saying that. Try to get into the purple, okay? Because life is about the truth, but it is also about having peace and serenity. Okay? It's not about giving way to lies and deception. You don't have to cover your eyes in order to see. No, 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 no. I know. There is an eye that you can see, right? But that's a purple eye. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? But you could want to seek the truth in all things and still live in peace and not be soothed to sleep. Okay, matter of fact, sometimes when we sleep, the most truths come out. Okay, so it's a combination of both. Okay, it's a combination of both. And you always have a choice. Don't let anybody make you feel like you don't have a choice. Be patient for the right answer for your divine alignment and ascension to be revealed. Include that in your meditation.